There's one very easy way to make a compelling theme, is to ask an unethical question, or rather, a question that would usually lead to an unethical answer. For example, I've been watching Monster recently. Really good anime, bro. It's insane. One of the best I've seen. But minus the glazing, this is one of the series that do that. They ask you an unethical question. Basically, it's all about, do you deserve to take someone's life, depending on what they've done, depending on who you are. And it revolves around this doctor named Tenma. I maybe won't spoil things too much, but this question of, no, you can't take the life of that guy, you shouldn't kill him because you're just such a nice guy, you're a doctor, Dr. Tenma. And yet he's been chasing this Johan, guy who's basically framed him for murder, albeit maybe unintentionally. Maybe it was unintentional and he just liked to benefit from it. There is a change in character in Johan where he learns that he just wants to play with people. Not like that, in a creepier way. No diddy. Or more specifically, play with people's lives. It is the fact that he plays with people's lives so much that Dr. Tenma wants to kill him. But not only that, Dr. Tenma did a surgery 9 years ago that saved him from being dead on a bullet that was in his skull, effectively bringing this monster back to life. That being where the series gets its name. But you could say monster about a lot of the characters in this series. You could even give a reason to call Dr. Tenma a monster. At a certain point, Tenma says, "I am no longer a doctor because I have killed someone." Or at least he was under the impression that he's killed someone. He only shot someone twice, but they didn't die. And it also was solely out of self-defense. But the thing about that is that this character who he shot twice survives. So it kind of is still in the question. Are you still a doctor, or are you now going full murderer? There is a scene where he's being held in prison, and he is obviously innocent of these murders that he's being accused of that were really committed by Johan, which is a character that they don't think is real. But we know he's real because other characters have seen Johan as well. But he confesses to the murders he never did, and I feel like the reason he did this, he's going to murder Johan, he may as well just admit that he did it now. And also, him following Johan so much is almost like edging the question. If he was a doctor and he brought life back into this world, then does he have the right to take it once again? When he's in the hospital working, he either has to cure the mayor who gives grants to the hospital or help this little boy who's been shot in the head. And we know how that little boy went. And because he went to save the little boy, the mayor dies, leading into a butterfly effect of events that eventually leads to him losing his job. This is really the start of the pressure to kill Johan, after about 9 years had passed, and Johan was 17 years of age, going around Germany and killing middle-aged couples. And to see this resolved, we have to skip even further in time, to about the end of the series. If it isn't clear yet, this is very spoilery, so leave now if you want to watch it for yourself. At least subscribe. If you're enjoying the video so far, then you might as well. I have 355 at the time of this recording, but it could be much more than that if you just contribute 1 sub. And when Tenma's really about to shoot Johan, that old homeless guy who's beating the kid that he was holding hostage ends up being the one who takes him out. Almost as if Tenma had his own magnificent Steiner. Almost as if all the people he's known across this series are his own personal magnificent Steiners. As whenever he was in a pinch, the magnificent Steiner would step in, get him out. And I mean, almost every occasion, there's a certain point in the series where Johan changes his goal from one thing to just messing with people for the hell of it. So if you really look at it like that, then he was trying to get Tenma to kill him. And that way he would win, because he would make Tenma a monster. He had not actually committed murder up until then. I recall hearing Ricardo say that the entire purpose of this is so that Tenma could witness it. He needs to see it. I don't know what exactly Johan saw in Tenma, but after this point, he solely saw him as someone to mess with, as Ricardo had orders not to take out Tenma. And after that perspective, I think I can clearly say what he saw in Tenma and what he was trying to do. He's been trying to turn him into a monster. He's showing him all this death and destruction and this awful side of humanity in him and in other people. And yet Tenma keeps on finding the good in people, keeping the good people with him, being their friend. And after he's a convict, they're all he has. Even that shady businessman who was trying to get him to do underground doctor work. Episode by episode, he helps people along the way. And maybe the real friends? No. The real monster were the people we evaded along the way. And maybe the real monster are the people who try to turn us into one. But in the end, another monster will usually do it for us. In a never-ending loop, the monsters eat each other, just like the monster that went to the east at the end of the story. There's a point where Johan says, "This is the end." I think the idea is that the monster, aka the hatred, will consume one person and then they'll kill the other, and then someone will get revenge on them for killing, and the cycle continues. I've seen the end. I've seen it many times. Quote Johan Liebert. He said he's strategically doing this to create the most monsters possible, which is why at the end he has someone hand out guns to this very quiet, peaceful town that has been peaceful for a very long time, and suddenly everyone starts shooting each other every 5 minutes. And after Tenma does surgery on him again for another gunshot to the head, then Johan leaves the hospital without him knowing, no matter how hard he tried, he could not make Tenma a monster. And that is the message of Monster. To not succumb to people who are like this. Because there are a lot of sadists out there. Speaking of sadists, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Because it helps a lot, and actually right now, I'm not even actually making videos. I made about 2 or 3 because I'm going to be occupied for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So subscribing is a good way to make sure I'm happy when I get back home. And I'll maybe even have 400 subscribers, but only you can help me with that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Trying to do more Halloween-esque videos. A bunch of Halloween-themed videos are coming, so get ready for that. It's like, what is it? It's September, so you're going to be getting like there might even be like 10 videos that are Halloween-themed leading up to October. Yeah, I think I have a really good one planned. I'm saving the best ones for October, so stay tuned for that. And there's probably a new community poll, a new poll that you might see after this video if you're watching on mobile, or if you just go to the community tab. Be sure to answer those. I use those to basically choose what I make a video on, see what people like. And yeah, enough yapping, subscribe. And the next video you hear from me will be recorded almost a month later.